Help support Chris and Zach Attack by liking and sharing all of our content, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for all your latest video game news and updates. Hello friends, it's Chris.
It's Zach.
And welcome to another episode of Chris and Zach's Quick Attacks.
Quick attack, yes. Bam, here we are.
Here we are.
Attacking it.
Here we are again, talking about Battlefront 2.
Yes, Battlefront 2, been in the news. It comes up Friday. It's like 2 days from now.
Out of focus. I gotta refocus. There we go. I got it.
Like, there was just a Reddit AMA asked me anything that some of the developers, they went on Reddit. They're like, we're going to talk to the fans and figure out, like, we're going to figure this out. Okay, what don't they like? We're going to talk about this. We're going to explain our reasoning, and we're really going to like get into it. We're going to learn a lot, like what DICE is thinking, what EA's thinking.
Okay.
And we're going to be fine. The game's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be fine.
All right. I'm pumped for this. All right. So what did they tell us, Zach?
They told us nothing.
But they said they were going to figure it out. They said they were going to give us answers.
Every single one of their answers on the Reddit Ask Me Anything was just basically like a scripted PR answer. Like, basically, if person asks this, post this. If person asks this, post this. It's like there was no personality in any of the responses. There was no responsibility taken for anything. It was basically just them saying, like, oh, well, we're really taking a look at it, and like we're gonna like definitely be checking it to make sure all the systems are working the way they should, and we'll get back to you guys, like, because we're really like passionate about this and we want this game to be a success, and we don't want to take advantage of the players, and like we're definitely looking at it and gonna figure out some stuff. It's like, what does that mean? Like, it means nothing.
Absolutely nothing. I mean, it's just like I said yesterday in my little rant video, my 30-minute quick attack video. Yeah, I went over the limit. Went over the limit, but it was pretty emotional. It got me pumped up. But
yeah,
no, it was exactly like I said. So they have this PR tactic called making the outrage outdated, and they did exactly that. They said they made promises. They were extremely vague on their answers, and the only thing they actually said they were actually going to get fixed right away was the amount of credits that you earn after a match, which right now it's more or less this, you earn the same amount of credits no matter what you do right now, and which is not fair. You gotta the more
you could have a really good game, like get a lot of kills, do a lot of the stuff for like the game, and then the game ends and like your team wins, and it's like, wow, here's my credits. Like, I really don't feel rewarded for like playing well versus just not playing well. I mean, it's like you got to be rewarded somehow.
Yeah, it's exactly that. And right now, they said 20% of your score is factored into a credit reward. We agree it's likely not enough, and we're going to look into how we can increase that now. They actually said as well that where did I put it? I lost it, but they pretty much said that it's a quick change and they'll get it in as quick as possible. So,
I mean, like all the systems in Battlefront 2 multiplayer are designed to make it so it takes a long time, or a certain amount of money to unlock your favorite things. You want to play as Darth Vader, it's going to take time, or it's going to take money to unlock Darth Vader. It's like,
time
well,
is
why
money,
can't I just play as Darth Vader? Yeah, why can't I just play as Darth Vader? Well, we know he's really popular, and like they're like one of their responses on Reddit was like the most downvoted thing of all time, I think. Before the AMA, they did this thing where like, well, we want people to really have like a sense of pride in this and accomplishment unlocking their favorite heroes. And that's like one of the most downvoted things in Reddit's history. So it's like, obviously people on Reddit are knowing that this is a complete joke for like DICE to even say this. Like, the only reason it takes that much time and money is because they want people to play the game, get frustrated, and end up buying loot boxes to get it faster.
Basically, and that's exactly what I said in yesterday's video. I mentioned that I mentioned that this is a pay-to-win mentality type of game,
It
and
it is.
the developers here. Now, these aren't EA developers; these are Dice developers.
Yeah, this is
These are
nice.
actual developers for Dice, and
Yeah,
obviously Dice is owned by EA.
yeah,
These guys did not. I mean, loot crates. They pretty much said loot crates are sane. They didn't say
yeah.
it, but they didn't allude to them going away. They said they're going to
No,
make
no
changes
way.
to them. They want to make changes to them, and they want to look at finding other ways for characters to progress in the game.
Yeah,
However, loot boxes are here to stay, and that's honestly, I like loot boxes because if they get revenue from loot boxes, like look at Overwatch, all of their revenue comes from loot boxes
yeah,
and initial sales and loot boxes. That's all they get their money from, and they give us free heroes, free maps, free updates. Everything's
yeah,
free in Overwatch.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
And if they kind of continue to go along that route, their loot Overwatch loot boxes are cosmetic. These ones are not.
yes. See, that's the problem. We keep coming back to that problem where the loot boxes, if they're just cosmetic and they just affect like cosmetic like sprays, voice lines, outfits for the game, like customizing your character, those kind of loot boxes are fine. There's no problem with those ones at all. But Star Wars Battlefront 2, their loot boxes directly affect the multiplayer. So owning a loot box, you'll get a power up that will make you overpowered compared to everyone else who doesn't have that power up in the loot box. So people see that they're like, "Wow, I need to buy a loot box just to get this power up." Like that's unfair
Mm-hmm.
because you're separating the players into two categories: the people who buy loot boxes and people who don't buy loot boxes. So obviously, the people who buy loot boxes will have an advantage over the people who don't, and then people are going to get frustrated.
Exactly. I mean, it's exactly what I said in the last video.
Yeah,
Um, and the entire development team didn't seem to grasp that their game is pretty focused on a pay to win at the moment. There have been reviewers. There was a reviewer that I just watched. I cannot remember his name, which I apologize about that. There's a reviewer that I just watched who said, "So I bought the game and I immediately bought a ton of loot boxes. I've spent maybe hundreds of dollars on loot boxes just to see how much of an advantage I would have against other players and how much this affects the gameplay. And it affects the gameplay tremendously.
yeah, that's horrible.
Tremendously. It's god awful how much it affects the gameplay."
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, and then someone posted on Reddit a couple days ago, or maybe earlier today, basically saying like the amount of time or the amount of money it takes to unlock everything. It's like 4,000 hours in game to unlock everything, and then
mhm.
like $2,000 in money, like loot boxes, to unlock everything,
Yeah.
which is just ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
like 4,000 hours. Like, who is going to play the game for 4,000? I mean, yeah, there's going to be diehard fans that play for 4,000 hours, but like your casual fan who just wants to pick up, play some Star Wars, is not going to play the game for 4,000 hours. It is not going to invest $2,000 into this game. That's just completely unachievable and unattainable, and so far away from actually being like normal.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. It's not normal. It's not good.
No, I'm surprised they didn't just implement like literal time, like countdown timers, like before you can play your next match. Where it's like,
No, actually they did.
oh really?
So here's the thing. There's this mode called arcade mode.
Yes.
So they have a limit on arcade mode. So arcade mode you can earn credits,
Yeah.
but they have a limit through arcade mode. They have a limit of how many credits you can earn, and if you hit that limit, you have to wait another 3 hours before you can earn more. And
See,
arcade mode is a largely offline mode too.
Yeah.
And I'll go ahead and get right into that one. One of the guys came in and said, with arcade, we set out to let players earn credits via offline via a more relaxed game mode. But as a result, we needed to make sure it wouldn't be exploited in a way that would impact multiplayer. So to stop this potential for abuse, we decided to place a limit on credits earned offline. We'll look to find ways to expand the options to earn credits offline as we want to make the experience rewarding, but we don't have any news. So they put that there so it wouldn't impact multiplayer, but at the same time, you can go and buy some loot boxes that'll in fact impact multiplayer.
Yes. So they're saying we don't want you to play our game basically for free, like because arcade is offline, they don't make money offline. Like you're playing the game in offline mode, EA and Dice is not making money off of you. So they're
Exactly.
saying like we're going to limit the credits so you're basically discouraged from playing arcade mode because you're not feeling the sense of progression. But when you say you can just buy loot boxes, there's no like, well, yeah, I mean, that's like so predatory. It's not even funny. Like
It
that's ridiculous.
it was so funny too because you brought this up. There was a redditor that right after their I believe his name was Paul Kelson.
Okay.
Right after
One of
Paul,
the developers.
yeah, the developer that said that about the arcade mode. Right
Yeah.
after he said that, somebody posted exactly what we said. You can buy loot boxes that impact multiplayer immediately.
Yeah.
Like
But you
what?
can't play.
What's the reasoning behind doing this to arcade when you can do this with loot boxes? And he didn't answer the question. He just
No, because
reiterated what he said about
the
arcade.
answer is we can make money off of you when you're playing on multiplayer, but we can't make money off you when you're playing arcade.
Basically, that is the answer.
Yeah, I mean it's like they're I don't think they're gonna really like. I mean, yeah, there's a single player component to this game, but I mean, obviously, it's not going to be the main focus of the game.
Mm-mm.
The multiplayer is where they're going to want to do all this stuff and make their money, all the loot boxes and all that stuff.
It's why they didn't add the Galactic Conquest because that was a largely single player mode, like
Yeah,
stuff shit like that. But it sucks.
yeah,
The bottom line of this sucks, and they're not listening to us. They say
No.
they're listening, but they're not.
no, they don't care. I mean, they might change one or two things and try to like make people happy, and then like make sure. Oh, like we changed a couple things. Why aren't you guys talking about this? Like we changed it. Like look, obviously we're doing something. We're listening to the fan base because look, we're making changes. But it's like, yeah, but are you really making changes for like the greater good, or are you just like making changes so people stop complaining about your game so much and to like basically make it so people are like, oh well, I guess I'll buy it because they are making changes, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and buy the game. Well, right there, they're already getting you.
Yep, that's it. That's where
I mean,
exactly what they're getting you because there have already been hundreds of thousands of people who have canceled their pre-orders.
yeah.
I don't know about hundreds of thousands. I just made that number up. But
There's like been a decent amount of people who have
There-
come out
there-
canceled pre-orders.
there is a following for people who are canceling their pre-orders,
Yeah,
and there is a following who want
I
to
know
hit
there's,
EA where it hurts. What was that?
I know there's like I don't know. It's like I don't know what it is, like a PSA or something, basically, because they're saying like a lot of parents are going to buy this game for their kids because it's Star Wars. It's a new Star Wars game. They're saying like their new like initiative is saying like EA is promoting gambling in this game. So like
Yep.
don't buy this for your kids because it's basically gambling in game. So like if you're buying this game, there's a gambling component that's obviously it's not age appropriate for your children, so you should stay away from this game if you are thinking about buying it.
Yeah.
So that's a good way to kind of inform the parents on like it is gambling. Like the loot boxes in this game are literal gambling.
Yeah, there's no set amount of anything they can get in these loot boxes. They're actual gambling. In fact, I saw a headline recently that I believe it was it Canada? I think it was Canada.
Oh, I think it was like, yeah, it was some country like they're looking into it.
Yeah, there's a country that's actually looking into the actual loot boxes to actually see if it is gambling. It might be China. I know China is really sticklers about that. Not so much Canada, but yeah, that's
It's
a good tactic to go with.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is a good tactic. I mean, that is a good way. But I mean, like the practices in this game are just so egregious and so. I mean, this
Outrageous.
is like the way. Yeah, it is outrageous. The way they're marketing this game's loot boxes and implementing them, it's basically treating it like a free-to-play mobile game, where it's like the only way mobile games can make money is loot boxes, and the loot box system in mobile games, 95% of the time, is going to be
it's pay to win model.
Player.
Pay to win model all the time for mobile games because, like, honestly, I hate mobile games because of that.
Yeah.
Because it is like, oh, you're locked out for
Wars...
progressing. Why don't you buy a loot box and then you can progress some more?
Yeah, I mean, like, also with Star Wars Battlefront, it's a $60 game, so you're paying $59.99 for this game. and then they're going to put loot boxes on top of it, where it's like, okay, like we're going to try to get you for this pay to win, but it's you already paid $60. You're going to have to pay us even more to get all the stuff you want.
Yep.
So, and then I was on Xbox today. I was on my Xbox. There's like deluxe versions of this game that are like 70, 80, $90. I'm like,
Yep.
deluxe versions of this game. The game is already $60 with
And
loot boxes. How could there be a deluxe version?
And you don't get any unlocked characters for these versions either. None of the characters unlock for you.
I mean, if I were Disney and I was seeing this, like the bad press that EA is getting with this, I mean, I would be so tempted to just say like, okay, like EA, like you need to do something, you need to fix something, you need to change something, because like Disney doesn't want this on their reputation.
Oh, absolutely not.
I mean, it's like this is one of their big.
If you look up the hashtag gambling, I bet actually I can do it right now. Hashtag gambling on Twitter. You would find EA and Disney as the top results. It's actually hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, like if I was Disney, I would be so worried that this is gonna like hurt your reputation, because Star Wars is one of the biggest franchises in the world, and then it's like if Disney is getting roped into this, I mean that's terrible for their reputation too, because EA is promoting gambling. Kids are going to want this game, and kids are going to be like exposed to the loot boxes, like very predatory loot boxes. I mean, and it's like they're being taken advantage of, which I mean, it's like EA is getting away with this, which is just ridiculous. I mean, Disney, I can't believe they haven't stepped in and said something.
It's not there anymore, but the other day it was. Yesterday it was. But yeah, Disney. As you guys know, Disney, when they bought Lucasfilm, they shut down LucasArts, which was the development company behind most of the Star Wars games in the past. They shut down LucasArts and gave the rights to make Star Wars games to EA. And now ever since then, we've had two main title Star Wars launches, Battlefront and Battlefront 2. We've had several mobile games come out.
Yeah,
I believe
so many mobile games.
I believe there's also some Lego Star Wars games that have come out too. Which Lego Star Wars is a fun game, from what I hear. But with this much shit that they are getting for Battlefront series, like they need to come in and be like, EA, you need to stop and you need to do something.
Yeah. Yeah, like if Disney needs to step in and say something, because EA getting away with this is just, it's ridiculous.
It is absolutely ridiculous. Maybe give it to Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, right. That's
better. No, but funny thing is yesterday, I don't know, because you didn't watch the video, but yesterday I did comparison between a couple loot box systems. Obviously, Overwatch loot box, we've done that before. The more you spend, the more loot boxes you get. And then I actually did one for Destiny too. So Destiny's $60 game, free to play with possible paid DLC expansions. Loot boxes do not contain any game-altering effects, only cosmetic items. There is some gear that comes in these boxes that can be used on your character, but they have a chance at dropping at level 1. So they're not it's not good gear. It's mostly there for cosmetic purposes.
Okay.
So the pay system is similar to Battlefront 2. I put Battlefield 2 for some reason on here. Similar to Battlefront 2, where you buy a currency that lets you buy the boxes.
Yeah.
Essentially, so we figured out that you can buy 60 boxes for $100 in Battlefront 2. With this, you can buy just about the same amount of boxes, a little bit more for $100. But the thing is like, I mean, you get less crates for your money, but at the same time, there's nothing that's game altering in these boxes. Whereas or Battlefront, I'm sorry, there is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, doing comparisons like that, it's like, it seems Activision Blizzard understands how loot boxes work, because their top game, is number one. They pretty much brought it in to main title games, and they know how to really work it. I said on Reddit I made a comment on Reddit. If everybody followed this type of model, if the right type of loot box model, with free to play DLC or free DLC and free
Yeah.
updates, all that with cosmetic loot boxes, I think everything would be better. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
then companies get greedy. EA comes in and be like, no, we're only interested in your money. Remember when that developer came in and came out, pretty much exposed EA for, pretty much
Oh, the
just,
Bioware.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Bioware guy.
Yeah.
And saying that, like, they only want open world games so they can monetize, because they
Monetize.
can monetize it better, because they only care about
Yeah.
what's in their wallet. They don't care about the
Oh, yeah.
consumer.
Yeah.
It's exactly it.
Well, yeah. I
Exactly the
mean,
same
and then I
case.
feel like it's going to catch up with them eventually. I mean, maybe it's not Battlefront 2, but maybe it's like Battlefield, one of the next Battlefield games or something like that, or Anthem. Maybe it's like the loot box system in Anthem is really bad because that's an EA game.
Yep.
And I don't know. I mean, I feel like, I mean, because this game it's not on Steam, it's on Origin, and I don't think there's like a rating system on Origin. But
Probably not, because it'd probably be downrated to hell.
well, that's the thing. I mean, it's gonna like get such bad ratings
Mm-hmm.
if there was a system. Don't think there is, but I mean, people are gonna stay away from this game. Um, the people who like obviously like who are on Reddit. I mean, Reddit's pretty big user base, so I mean, I feel like if a lot of people on Reddit are saying like, well, I don't really want to um, like I don't want to support their practices. I don't want them to. Yeah, the classic one.
Yeah,
That
there you
one's
go.
on there.
Yep.
That's the good one.
Yeah, the good one. So yeah, if you guys really want to buy a Battlefront 2, go to Steam.
Yeah.
It's
Steam.
$9.99 right now on Steam.
Came out 2005. It's a classic game.
Classic game.
It's no loot boxes in that game or anything.
Oh, very good game. I'm sorry I interrupted you. Or
No,
you got
I mean,
distracted by
I
me.
think EA should be concerned, and they should actually make changes to the loot box system instead of claiming to be making changes. Vague answers on Reddit, some crappy ask me anything, just like garbage PR tactics.
Yeah.
They should actually change something because I think they could see a hit on the sales of this game with enough people staying away from it. The like gambling PSA and all that stuff. I mean, that could get traction. I mean, you never know. Maybe it gets picked up by like a local news or something. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah.
I mean, and someone
Actually,
reports on it.
it did make the BBC.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
like,
It was on the
I mean,
BBC
and then,
news.
I mean, and that spreads so easily. So it's like you never know. I mean, it's like EA could start to get worried about the sales of this game. I mean, they thought it was
Yeah.
just like a guaranteed success, but then enough people came out and complained about it that it is getting picked up, and people are making noise about it. So I mean,
Yeah.
keep doing that.
Yeah, keep doing it. I mean, from it's kind of like a wrap up. I wrote down this paragraph. It was exactly like I said in my rant video. They seem to be using a PR tactic called making the outrage outdated. They say they're fixing things so that the headlines will read that instead of what it has been reading, which is this shit broken. I really fucked up that sentence. That doesn't make sense at all. They're saying they're fixing things so that headlines on when you search on it on Google, headlines in the news will say they're fixing things instead of this shit's
Yeah.
broken.
Well,
So
it's like the update where they say they cut the heroes by 75%. So like you see that, wow, they are changing 75%, and then you read into it, it's like, well, then the credits were actually like cut too.
yeah,
So it's
the
like,
credits
well,
were cut off too.
What? No, that's not good.
Yeah. So what do we need to do as consumers and as fans to get them to actually listen to us? It's because it's EA. What you need to
Yes.
do is you need to cancel your subscription to their service. You need to cancel your pre-order if you haven't already.
Yep.
You need to not buy this game. Don't buy this game. Don't even
Yeah.
think about buying it. Like, I mean, it sucks because it's actually a very good game.
If this stuff was not in the game, this would be a legitimately good game. If
Yeah.
it was just like the old Battlefront where you just got the heroes, like after a certain amount of time playing the multiplayer, they just unlocked and like you could play as them for a limited time in the game as you were playing. And then like, I mean, if this was just like a normal multiplayer without the loot boxes and all that stuff, yeah, it would be a good game.
Yep, exactly. It would be, and it is a good game. It's just that all this shit's in it. Exactly like you said. If it wasn't in there, it'd be a great game. But
Yes.
if you want change, and people are crying for change from this company. Don't buy this game. Just don't buy it because they are thinking with their wallets.
Yeah, people complain about loot boxes. Oh, all the AAA games have loot boxes. All the AAA games have loot boxes. It's like, well, one, stop buying the AAA games with loot boxes. Two, if you do buy them, don't buy the loot boxes.
Exactly. If you want to buy them, if you want to buy it, if you're an absolute diehard Star Wars fan, you gotta have this game. Don't buy loot boxes because they're gonna see the revenue for the loot boxes drop and be like, loot boxes are not that good. We're not gonna keep them in there.
Yes.
Or we're going to make some changes to the loot boxes. We're actually going to listen to our consumer base and use them for cosmetic purposes only instead of game-breaking mechanics.
Yes, and I also think some of the responsibility should fall on like the reviewers. Like, so a lot of the websites and a lot of the people doing video game reviews, I also think they should mention the loot boxes in their reviews when they're bad loot boxes and good loot boxes, because a lot of the times the reviewers, they just kind of like, they don't mention loot boxes if they're like predatory or if they're like this. A lot of the reviews on Metacritic about Battlefront 2 don't mention the loot boxes at all. They don't say anything about the loot boxes. So I think it's also on the responsibility of the reviewers to mention the loot boxes. And if they're bad like Battlefront, or if they're okay like Overwatch, or if they're somewhere in between, kind of like in Destiny 2, I mean, I feel like reviewers really need to expose loot boxes when they're predatory like Battlefront 2.
They really do, and it seems like there's one particular review company that's doing a good job at that, and that's Game Informer, which is surprising because they're owned by GameStop.
It is. I mean, yeah.
But Game Informer did come out with a review giving this game a 6.5 out of 10. They said the reason it's ranked so low is because of the loot boxes.
Yeah, so. I mean, and then that is a legitimate reason to give a game a bad review. If the loot boxes ruin your experience, that should be a knock against the game. That should be points off of your total review score. I mean, I'm seeing like 100% on Metacritic, and they're like, "Oh, it's great. It really gives you a sense of the Star Wars universe." But what about the loot boxes? You didn't say anything about loot boxes because the review copies probably have everything unlocked for them, so they can just play.
Yeah, pretty much, and they can just play it and get all the shit that they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not fun.
No.
Like they need to step up. But that's gonna be it for this episode.
Yes.
Of the Quick Attacks.
Battlefront 2.
Went a little longer, so it should have just been a regular attack episode. But whatever, who cares?
Chris and Zach's somewhat quick attack.
The quick attacks are mostly actually for like one piece of news anyway, so it's like. I think it balances out, right?
Yeah. I mean, if we don't jump around, it's all better. It's all one topic in this episode. So
yeah, so I think it works.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. Thanks everyone for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notification next to it to know when we're gonna post some more videos. Hit the like button. Comment down below. Tell us what you think of loot boxes. Tell us what you think of Battlefront 2.
Yeah, did you buy it? Are you staying away from it? What are you doing with Battlefront 2?
Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
We'll likely agree with you.
Unless you're saying buy it, spend $100 on loot boxes, then I will disagree with you.
I will delete the comment.
You're out.
So yeah, thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.